Joining us again here on RT International. So how does quantitative easing, or QE, work, and why is the ECB willing to take this step to implement it in Europe?
Let's look at the facts. In the United States, when they dumped in the government $7 trillion to prop up some $7 trillion to prop up some $30 trillion worth of assets, look what happened to the equity markets. They went from 8,000 to 18,000. Take a look what happened over there in Japan with Abenomics, Japanese word for quantitative easing. Equity markets went up 57%. Look at today's news. Look how the markets all went up. And you're seeing the European markets now going up at what? Their 7-year highs. All this is doing, it is enriching the equity markets. The proof is there. All you have to do is look at the facts, and here's the facts in the States. Median household income is below 1999 levels. Wages are stagnant since 2000. The jobs that they created are low-paying jobs. The last numbers that just came out in December, we saw retail sales way down, and we saw earnings down. The only thing that this is helping are the speculators. This isn't a central bank. It's a massive fraud. And it's one of our top trends, by the way, of 2015. This isn't capitalism. It's bankism. It's a takeover. Four words killed capitalism. Too big to fail.
Now, do you think, though, it may have any effect on the long-running financial troubles in Europe?
Absolutely not. Just has it helped in Japan? Look what happened after their first round of Abenomics. Their third quarter GDP came in down 7.2%. And this whole lie, and here's the facts, this is what they're saying from Bloomberg today. Draghi commits to trillion euro QE in deflation fight. And here's why deflation is bad, according to the other charlatans out there, the other fraudsters that'll say anything to make sense of nothing. This is from Financial Times. As consumers expect goods to become cheaper in the future, they postpone purchases, worsening the slump. That's why they say deflation is bad. How about growing up? How about the depression in Spain? How about the one in Greece? How about record high unemployment in Italy? How about what's going on in France? How about Portugal and Ireland? How about people don't have money in their pocket and they can't buy anything? And this whole 2% peg rate of inflation, that's another phony lie. Because when the euro came online, that 2% number was not to increase inflation beyond that point. Had nothing to do with deflation, because there is absolutely no proof that more inflation brings growth. And this is not deflation. Could anybody say depression?
There are several rounds of quantitative easing across the Atlantic in the U.S. You said it had some impact on the equity markets. Did it have any other positive effect, according to you?
Again, look at the facts. The only thing that's pumping these markets up, and they're doing it now all over the world, all the banksters, they're lowering interest rates to record lows. And what they're doing by doing that is they're devaluing their currencies, and it's a tax on the people. Once upon a time, when I was a young man, they used to have a thing called savings accounts. You put your money in the bank, and you got more back for it than inflation. All these low interest rates are doing, and this quantitative easing, this is a fact. You look at what the stock markets are going up in the States, over half of it is from companies, big companies, borrowing cheaply, buying back their stock, and merger and acquisition activity because of the record low interest rates. Then you look at the facts. The jobs that have been created in the United States stink. If you want to be a waitress, bartender, or an aide making, taking home $62.50 a week, you got a job. And the other fact of this is it is not spreading, because the only thing that's propping up the markets, the housing markets, are the record low interest rates. They have not raised interest rates, you ready, in the United States since 2006, and now they're talking about 2016. The people in Davos love it. That 1% that owns 99%, according to Oxfam.
Speaking of Davos, there's a lot of criticism over the fact that the richest 1% decide for everybody else. There's a lot of them in Switzerland right now. What do you think? Is it just kind of going to be status quo?
Of course it is. You read the quotes coming out of Davos. Yeah. One could argue that this type of approach Draghi is using should have been applied much earlier, which would have gotten Europe on a similar platform as the U.S., said Stephen Schwarzman, chairman of the Blackstone Group. That's all talk. They could care less. Again, look at the facts. The facts are the equity markets have gone up because of all of the cheap dough. Record low interest rates. Here, I got a deal for you. You're a big bank. I'll loan you money at 0.25%, and you can loan it out back at anything that you want. That's what's going on. It's bankism, not capitalism.
All right. Thanks for your time. Good to talk.